Hey Intro to Algebra, here are the solutions for you to check your answers for level 2. So for this one, I would even rewrite this equation as 15 plus negative 3y equals 6 first, because that reminds me that the negative sign goes with the 3y. So I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides, and then I've got negative 3y equals negative 9, and then divide by negative 3. And I've got y equals 3. Now I can always go and plug that back into the original equation to make sure that I've got it right. This one, you could either divide both sides by negative 2/5 or multiply by the reciprocal. And I usually multiply by the reciprocal because I find it a little bit cleaner. So I've got times negative 5/2, that's the reciprocal. And of course, negative 5/2 times negative 2/5 is 1. So I just have 1x. And I've got a negative times a negative. That makes a positive. So I'm going to have 40 over 2. And that reduces to 20. Now you might have cross-canceled so that you didn't have to reduce. And that's great. Here, it's the same as a regular two-step equation. It's just got some decimals in. So don't get scared. I'm just going to subtract 10.2 from both sides. And it's fine if you use a calculator to do this. And now I'm going to divide by negative 3.5. So I think here the arithmetic is the hardest part. So if you want to use a calculator to do those calculations, that's fine with me. All right, here I want this x term to be all by itself on this side. And I'll deal with that later. So right now I'm going to deal with this minus 8. I'm going to deal with that by adding 8 to both sides. So now I've got 15 equals negative 3/5 x. And then I'll do the same as I did on that previous problem where I multiply by the reciprocal. So here you could definitely do some cross-canceling. So I might do the 15 and the 3 will each have a multiple of 3, right? So I can make this a 1 and make this a 5. And then just don't lose your negative sign. I've got x equals negative 25. All right, so the hint here, you cannot subtract 3 first. And here's why, because it's being divided by 2. So really you'd have to subtract 3/2 if you were going to do that. The easier thing is to deal with that divide by 2 first by multiplying by 2 on both sides. Now just make sure that you realize that the whole point of that is so that these 2's cancel, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's why it's fine that I did that. Now I've got x plus 3 equals negative 10. And then, of course, I'm just going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I've got x equals negative 13. So this one I would recommend kind of doing a quick check. So this reduces to negative 10 over 2. And that is, in fact, equal to negative 5. So I know I got it right. Great job. If you need to go back and make any corrections to your slides, make sure that you do that before you submit your assignment.